going deeper. We're going deeper and we're going to be exploring some practical aspects of it. So I want to use this time to say welcome. I can see many people are still joining. You are right early, and we hope that by the end of this webinar, you would have learned a lot. I will not be moderating alone today. I'm happy to have my colleague, Mr. Chris Madu. He is going to also be moderating this webinar. So along the course of this meeting, you would have the opportunity to ask your questions. So you listen keenly while the teaching is going on, and feel free to type in your questions, and at the appropriate time, the questions will be taken. I just want to use 1 minute to talk about the account solution. The account solution is a learning platform for accountants from different levels in the accounting industry. It's for young accountants, middle-level accountants, experienced accountant, retired accountant at heart, So it's a place where you can ask your questions and get real-time solutions. Also, as an experienced accountant, it's a place where you can also mentor other people, provide your wealth of experience, share your wealth of experience with other upcoming accountants. So at this time, I'm going to hand this button over to Mr. Chris Madu, please, over to you. Can we put our hands together to welcome Mr. Chris Madu? Thank you.
What we have here, the Rafidah say that these projectile launchers are weapons which America provided to the Islamic State. This demonstrates the stupidity, foolishness of the Rafidah. This weapon is a product of the Islamic State, as well as other types whose effects we will leave for the enemies of Allah to discover for themselves.
Can you mute yourself?
تشبع وحوش الصعيد بالطاقشات الحشود أشعل لهيب الوعيد واكسر جميع القيود يا ذل سيف الغمود مستمتعا بالصديد.
What we have here, the Rafidah say that these projectile launchers are weapons which America provided.
We apologize for that.
I think somebody hacked into the system.
Yes.
So we're trying to remove the hacker since, and it's not been working. Sorry for that. Well, please go ahead, please.
Okay.
I'm going to log the group now. So please put your names on. Please.
Okay, I'm just going to go over the introduction again. This is the Account Solution, and it's a learning platform for accountants from all levels of experience. And it's a place where you get your questions answered. Whatever challenge you have in your workplace, you have real-time solutions given to you on the platform. And if you're an experienced accountant, you have the opportunity to also share your wealth of experience with other upcoming accountants. So last week we discussed management reports, and it wasn't exhaustive. Today we are going deeper in management reports. So like I said, please get your questions ready. As we go ahead, you have the opportunity to ask your questions and get them answered. It's going to be an interesting time here. And I'm not going to be doing this alone. I have a co-host, Chris Madu. I don't know if he's right here. Chris Madu, are you here? Okay. If he's not here, I'll just go right away and introduce our speaker for today. So our speaker for today is the same speaker of last week, is Mr. Umar Otta. Mr. Umar Otta is the visionary of the Account Solution, and is a chartered accountant with over 10 years of experience. Last week, we had a nice time. Today, we would enjoy even more. So without wasting too much time, I want to quickly introduce Mr. Umar Ota. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Apologies for that hacker. We've been trying to work behind the scene to block everyone. We've gone to Facebook to delete the videos on Facebook. So I hope the backend staff is doing our best to prevent this. We're trying to also block every video, from settings. So sorry again for those that witnessed that horrible experience. We apologize for whoever that is. On his or her behalf, we forgive him or her for what they came to do here. So please, sorry again. We removed this video from the live stream, and I hope the back end staff will try to mute video for everyone, so that we won't have such thing happen again. So going forward, we're going to mute video for everyone, and we've closed the room. We won't accept. We will not accept anybody except we know the person coming in, and before the admins will add. So please, admin, only add those that you know who they are. Until we get the settings right for our back end, we will not add anybody again on this platform. So welcome everyone again to the webinar. Now, I was trying to find the best way to, make this interesting, and practical enough, so that we'll not just end up talking, So I have very few slides. Then I'll drop into Excel to just demonstrate how a simple system can be built. It's one thing to have a system in place, another thing to follow that system and ensure that the system is working perfectly well. So please, if you have any question, drop on the chat box, section, so that we can take your questions as we, continue. So when we hear the word system, what does it mean to have a proper system? What does it mean to have a system in place? System are basically structures, structures that can help you maintain seamless process in your organization. Please, can the admin check who are those on the waiting room? Yeah, I'm scared to ask somebody now before they come and embarrass us again. So I'm going to just go to the slides and won't be distracted today. So management reporting system. First of all, I have some outlines. What is a system? Then what are the benefits of a reporting system? What is the process of managing reporting, and what are the outcomes from a good reporting system, and how to design a system and practical approach. So we'll be looking at these outlines, hoping that we're going to, get value from the discussion today. So first of all, let's stay in perspective. When we talk about a system, we're talking about a data collection process. So are you using a software? Do you have an ERP that, from all your branches, all your locations, once they impute data from anywhere you are all over the world, you can get the data. Do we have that process in place? Do we have a central collection point for data reporting? So if it's SAP, if it's QuickBooks, if it's Sage, if it's Oracle, how can you access that system? Do you have access to that system to get your reports, or will you have to get it downloaded or emailed to you? So is it on a spreadsheet on the cloud? Are there folders on the cloud? So there should be a central collection point for reporting, and also real-time, information that are relevant for you to accept. Real-time. Please don't add who you don't know, please. I'm getting worried, seriously. Seeing a lot of people in the waiting room. Don't add who you don't know, except if you're able to set the video setting. That's, I'm going to transfer the host so that if someone can set the video setting very well, so I won't have people coming in to show us nonsense, please. Please. So where can you get real-time information? Because if you want to have a system in place, you should be able to access real-time data. So as they're entering the data, you don't have to wait for 1 week or 1 month or the quarter to elapse before you can access data. So the system should be in a way that you can access real-time information, when you need them. And it should be a seamless report generation mechanism. A lot of times people finish entering their data and they spend like a week or two to get reports. Your system should be in a way that once the month is over, maximum 2 days, except you're concerning large data. If you have a seamless reporting system, within 2 days, you should be able to, get your report from that system and present. So a good system is one that has a data collection process in place. There's a workflow in place. Data flow from this point to this point, and it's collated at this point, either through a software, accounting software, or a standalone software or a spreadsheet. The idea is that there's a collection point for data. Now, why the system? Most times, stakeholders want report now. I have a client that is into real estate that needed to know, how much real estate they've acquired all over the country, how much land they've been able to sell, how much plots are available unsold, and how much have they remitted to the landlords of those lands. So they want this report, but their process, their structure is not such that can give them that report. So they had to invite a consultant, which was me, to sit down with the MD, have this meeting over and over, get data from we have to call the real estate department, give us the plot of land in all the estates in Nigeria, we have to call the finance team, give us total amount paid in from customers, total amount not paid in yet. We have to call, a lot of departments together to be able to achieve what demand was demanding for, to know those that are that wants to that are still pending, the plots are still pending, who are the owners of those plots. Those are the things that they wanted to know. So you found out that if it's not available real time, they can't be able to know how those informations. You understand the point? So it's good to have that structure in place. There's constant need for reports to be analyzed for trends and decision making, and because you need a lot of resources, softwares, they're not cheap. To get an ERP is not very cheap. That can give you all these things you need. And you need to get visibility in one place. You want to have a view of the company performance in one place. So all these things are the reasons for you to have a reporting system. And again, to add to what is on the slide, if your key staff resign or get a better job, how do you train the incoming staff, to take over? So systems help you to have proper handover and to train, staff, in that process. So it's good that we have such systems in place. It's very, very important we have systems in place, and they help for readily available and digestible data, that you can make meaning for short and for long-term decision making. So let's progress. Now, the process of that reporting system. First of all, you must have a completely planned and organized method of collecting financial and non-financial data. So that method now, how do I collect sales data? How do I collect revenue data? I had a client in the food business back in Port Harcourt then. They use Sage for accounting and use Easy Sales for their outlets. So what happens is that the guys at the outlets, different outlets all over the country, popular brands, when they sell, they post to Easy Sales. Easy Sales was supposed to track the inventory, but was not doing that work. So when they sell, the guys at the field, every week evening before they close for the day, they will send reports of that Easy Sales to the finance team. So during one of our sessions, I told the finance guys that why would they have to send report to you? Why not you access Easy Sales online and download the sales report you need and now raise a journal to post into your Sage? So the Easy Sales was a software used for sales and inventory and production in the outlets, while Sage was used to collect data of sales and post into get your profit or loss account and the rest of them. So there must be a planned and organized method for collecting this data. Now, an organized way of, to make information available to those who need them. It's not, send me this report, you send this email. No, there must be an organized way. If it's a SharePoint, if it's Oracle, if it's SAP, if it's Navision, Dynamics, whatever it is, there must be an organized way to make sure that when the MD, when the CEO, when the whoever the manager needs them, they can access. Typical case is the NGOs, that run projects for different foreign governments. You find that sometimes we have interventions in different locations. How can you make the spend, the burn rate available for the technical leads? If I want to know how much have I spent out of my quarterly budget, do I have somewhere I can go to, and I will see real time the budget for that quarter for that intervention. If I'm doing a cassava intervention in the Niger Delta now, I want to know how many farmers have I trained in the past 6 months. Do I have a place I can go to and I will see in real time how many farmers have been trained for the past 5 months and what was the target? Our target was to reach 10,000 farmers in Calabari, in Ijoland, and teach them proper way of fish farming. So have I met that target? Where can I go and get that information? So it's important we have an organized way to make this information available for decision makers and also to help them monitor performance. Valuable insight, easy update, follow up. So it should be so easy that I can update data into it. It shouldn't be cumbersome, it shouldn't be so technical, so that it should be easy for someone to make sense out of it and to also update data. Now, of course, types of reports, that can come out of this system: internal reports, external reports, operational reports, analytical reports. Everything about reports are basically among either of these four. Now, internal reports, of course, revenue, cost of sales, direct costs or purchases, overhead reports, cash management, talk about your cash at hand, bank, fixed deposit investment, receivables, payables, your current ratio, and your inventory. It could be more. All these are your internal report that will be in your system. For external report, we have things like debtors profile. Debtors want to assess their ledger to know, okay, how much are we owing you? For example, an auditor of your debtor could write to you, it could be open or closed capitalization to tell them how much they are owing you based on what is in their trial balance. So those reports are external. So if you have a proper system, when these requests come, you don't have to struggle to produce them. Compliance reports, you shouldn't struggle to produce these reports. By the time when a client will ask you, okay, give us this information from your archive as a consultant, you should have a system that can produce such reports when they are needed. Of course, operational report, we have the billable man hours, sales targets, customer reach, task completeness, all those operational reports, that you could have. And also the last one, you could have your estimate trends, projections, your cash flow strategy. All these things are what can come out of a very good system. I'm rushing now. Now let's go to the main key thing: practical approach. Now, the staff our staff has planned us to use NGO. I'm going to use a typical retail business, that will cut across anybody. So whether NGO, retail, I'll just change it to a typical retail business. Now, first thing you need to observe is, do you have a software, first of all? How can the software help you? We use QuickBooks in my organization. I also use Oracle. Now, for QuickBooks, I've tried to look at different manual reports on QuickBooks. There are a lot of them. Depending on the version you're using, some versions are advanced versions that gives you a lot of opportunities, while some versions are not advanced. They give you basic profit or loss, balance sheet, and the rest of them. Now, some can give you location reports, some based on budget lines. So, depending on the software you're using, you can generate this report from your software if they are well structured and detailed enough to give you the report you need. Now, there are also standalone softwares that are not accounting, but they're specifically for environment reporting system. You can Google them, just type this reporting system on Google. You will see a lot of softwares that are available that can help you, they're more like drag and drop apps, to run your monthly report. We now have BI tools. BI tools are very powerful. The popular one is Power BI, very powerful tool that can help you organize data, publish online on your dashboard, and people can view it on real time. I'll have the popular one, spreadsheet, which I will use today to explain how you can build a simple system. Now, to conclude my slides, before I go into Excel and show you some things, some tips. First of all, to have a proper system, you must set goals. You must set goals. There's somebody that wants to enter. His name is Cute Don. I'm scared of that name, Cute Don. Yeah? Who does that Cute Don this era? So we'll not add Cute Don. We'll remove Cute Don from the waiting room. You know. So sorry. So we have goal setting, list out objectives and design strategies. List out objectives and design strategies. I'll explain those ones for you. So I'll be going back and forth with from Excel and PowerPoint. So let me go to Excel now and show you the first one, list out objectives and describe design strategies. So I have a spreadsheet that I've designed just this evening. So just to demonstrate, now I'm trying to set up a system for a simple, a retail outlet that have branches in different regions of Nigeria. So for me, I'm the GM, for example, or I'm the finance director or the chief officer for reporting or whatever name you may call me. Now I'm trying to look at last quarter objectives. What were my goals for last quarter? I had the goals to raise profit margins, to increase sales bonus payouts to my marketers, to increase my win rate. Win rate simply means how many of the calls my marketers make that can convert into sales. I want to increase that rate, like my leads. Then reduce customer acquisition costs, as in the cost of marketing, the cost of making calls. I want to reduce those costs. So based on my analysis from last month, we didn't really do very well. It was low. We had very low performance from last quarter. Now, this quarter now, I want to be more specific, more strategic. So my goals for this quarter, increase sales by 10% from last quarter. So I'm now specific now, not just increasing profit margins. I want to increase my sales by 10% from last quarter. So increase customer leads by 45%, reduce amount receivables by 30%. I don't want to have so much debtors in this quarter. I want to at least have very reduced debtors this quarter. Reduce slow-moving inventory by 80%, as in all the slow-moving items. In the last quarter, we realized that we had items that are not sold for the past 5 months. We want to reduce all those things by 80%. Then reduce operational costs by 20%, and very importantly, maintain a healthy cash balance of 1.5 to 2. What I mean here is my working capital balance, my current ratio, ratio between how my current asset can pay my current liabilities, how liquid I am, by 1.5:2. So this is my target for third quarter. Now, strategies. What are my strategies as a company? We want to start sales promo for all slow-moving items. So we've seen that there's some items that are not being sold for the past 5 months. I don't know why. Maybe because it's no more in vogue, or other technologies have come in to take over those technologies. How do I get rid of them? I'll do sales promo in all the branches in this quarter to reduce those slow-moving stock. Number 2, to give discount for bulk purchases. So if you buy more, I'll give you more discounts. I'll give you discounts. So that will also drive our sales to go up. Then I'm going to also leverage on highly skilled marketing team that has been trained over the period. So instead of hiring influencers or doing plenty adverts on Google or Facebook, I'm going to try to use my team that have been trained over the period, for this. Are we still together, please? Let me know if I've lost you there.
Yeah, we're here.
Please? Okay.
Yeah, we're here.
All right. Together. Then now I'm going to also increase credit limit for debtors. So debtors, if you pay 60% of your debt, you're going to increase your credit limit. You can buy more in debt. For example,
can you please expand your Excel so we can actually read the things there, please?
Yes, sir. Is it better now?
Yes, it is. Thanks.
Okay. So please ignore all typo. So I'm going to, so for me to reduce, for example, I have an objective that says reduce account receivables by 30%. And I want to do that by telling my customers, if you pay up your past debt by 60%, reduction, I'm going to give you more credit limits. That means if you're buying 10 million in credit, you now buy 20 million, for example. That's the strategy I thought will help us to reduce our account receivables. Then maybe I want to introduce loyalty cards, So for a proper system, you should have objective, you should have strategies, write them down. Let it be plain for those to read and run with it. So that's what I mean by saying set your goals and have strategies for that quarter, for that month, for that year to achieve those goals. And if this system is in place, it means every quarter, during the quarterly review meeting, you sit as managers and review your strategies and set your new goals for the next quarter. That is a system, that will now guide the accountant, the sales manager of the kind of report that will be expected from him at the end of the quarter. You see, with the system in place, they know what kind of report they should expect, from everyone in that quarter. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. I'll move back and forth the PowerPoint, to explain. Number 2 says design reports. Looking at the goals now, we have our goals, our strategies. What kind of report can achieve those goals? Every report that will achieve the set objectives should be standardized before the month end, before the quarter end. Have a reporting template in place already, whether from your software, from any source, but you must have a standard reporting template. In case middle of the month, the guy, Jackpa, you won't be stranded. You already have a system that is in place. You can include analysis, templates, dashboard, comparisons, visuals, just different ways, narratives. Have a proper format that can show you challenges, risks, opportunities available. Design a reporting template that will address or that will achieve those goals. Now, let me show you something not very robust, but you can do for now from the Excel, from my Excel. Now, in trying to achieve our objectives, I've designed a performance dashboard. It's still in process. A dashboard. This dashboard shows us, for example, I have my sales report by quarterly view. I have my locations, North Central, South East, South South, Southwest, quarter 1, 2, and 3. Total of all the quarters, variance between quarter 3 and quarter 2, then either increase or decrease. I will now know if we reach that target of sales increment from quarter 2 to quarter 3. Now, my focus is increase sales by 10% from last quarter. That's my focus for this quarter. That is, I'm going to comment here that, okay, this is what we've achieved. Either we'll surpass our target or we don't achieve our target. Now, my lead win by location. I said I want to convert my leads, what was the plan again? To convert, increase customer lead by 5%. So I have a dashboard that gives me, okay, location, last quarter wins, third quarter win, then difference. Have I achieved those goals? So you can have a reporting dashboard, receivables for last quarter and this quarter, the difference. Then ratio to get my current ratio. You can just design all these things in preparation to collect data for the next quarter. That's how you can have that standardized report. This is just an example. It could be more sophisticated than this or more robust, more lengthy, but just to show you, it's not a very difficult thing to think about. Just sit down, plan your work. The objectives are there before you. The KPIs are there before you. How do you achieve them? Strategies, work plan. Then what is the outcome? The report will begin to come in from there. Let me go back to my PowerPoint and finish up the slides and take your questions. Now, collect and organize data. Now, this is a very important one. From my experience, a lot of companies have softwares, but they still download from those softwares, analyze on Power BI, Power Pivot, Excel, spreadsheets, Tableau, they still do the analysis because those software may not give them all they need to show, management what they want to see. So you need to have an organized way to collect this data, and clean them up. Some of this data will come from the ERP online, and they're not organized at all. Some will not come in text format. You need to turn it into values, So you have to find a way to collect them and ensure quality control for data integrity and quality. Now, best practice, try to have categories and groups. If you have interventions, if you have sales groups, location, classify items into groups, into categories to enable you to analyze them properly and design a workflow for data input and collection. Who is posting what? Who is reviewing what? Who is downloading what? Who is sending what report? You must design a workflow that will ensure that data inputs are going on every day. Now, I'll say this here again. I had a client that there are different branches. Sometimes the staff in some branch will not post until after 5 days. They'll start posting the week report and transactions into the software on just one day. They'll be posting throughout the night, to meet up with our weekly report. Why not post daily? So you must set timelines for closeouts, cutoff periods, and how they will submit their data. You must set all those timelines. You must have communication channel, data storage, extraction, and cleanup. Let there be a way of constant feedback in case of glitches. So you must have a channel, what flows into what. Just do a flow chart, what flows into what, who collects what, and who does what, Yes, 2 days ago, I was told from one of our colleagues in our office that, okay, you're not in charge of collecting all the reports from the head office, sorry, the home office, and the locations. It's not your work to collect all the reports and ensure you have a single reporting system. Okay, where I work, we have two systems where those in the home office, they use a different software, and those in the field use a different software. So the problem is that those on the field, they pay from their account and post to a different software and send the report to those in the home office who now post into their own software. The issue now is that you want to have a report for our activity, you must collect data from two sources. And now they want you to have it in one source where somebody is now in charge of getting from this software and put into one source to give them a monthly or a weekly report as the case may be. So, and finally, design how you want to share your report. Either you publish a dashboard online or you send constant emails, or there is the SharePoint who can access the reports. You must design a distribution and submission format and model for your reporting. My slide ends here. Let's just go back to Excel again and look at what we've done in Excel. We still have time. Now, we have our plan. Our plan is here. Let's say the plan is on red, and our report is on green. Now, in between, we have data. So you must design collection points, whether from software, from ERP, from anywhere, design collection points. So in my own little way, I've designed how I want to collect data that will give me my report. So from my objectives, what kind of data do I need to achieve my objectives? I need sales data. You can see it here. Inventory data, sales rep report, profit or loss data by month, and balance sheet data by quarter. I need all this data to achieve my report. So you must set that collection point. If your software can do all this for you, fine and good, you are good to go. Just memorize the report from the software. So every month, you just click that memorize report. For example, QuickBooks have a way to memorize reports that once the report is set as management report, every month, just go and click on it and download it. So you can have that set up in your software. But if your software can't give you all you need, you must have a system in place to help you collect data. So I won't go through all this, no time for all this. Here I have item, description, the quantity of slow-moving items, quantity sold, and balance. For sales data, which I will spend my time on sales data, we have, for example, I want to collect data only for date, sales, amount, product, and location. That's all I need to do my report. So let's take typical sales data now. I've downloaded from the software, from all the branches, and I have it in my Excel sheet. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste in my designed collection point. This is where I've cleaned up data. Before I paste it here, I must have cleaned up the data and remove what I don't need. I don't need everything. I just need date, sales, amount, product, and location. So I'll go to my software I downloaded. I'm going to copy all what I've extracted. I'm going to paste into my collection point. You can do that daily, can do that weekly, can do that monthly. Depends on what you want to analyze or report on. So I have this here. It's not formatted. I'm going to just do simple formatting for it. Just do simple formatting, put borders on, convert to a table, use a proper Excel table, which is better. Yeah, I'm going to do this. No, undo, man, undo. Not for my hand now, please, I'm in public. So do all this, Control T, and just do this, that's fine. I'm going to format everything here to date, right click, format cells, put check dates. Okay, this is fine for me. Then my sales amount will be in Naira. Right click, format cells, accounting. You can choose Naira. Yep. Where's the Naira? Okay. So I have this data in place for me. I have different products in place. You can choose to use formulas or use a pivot table as the case may be. So I have my data. Now I want to analyze. The report says increase sales by 10%. Now, this will not be my only report, of course. I can have other sales reports, but for me to achieve this, I need to have my last quarter sales here and my this quarter sales here, to me to achieve what I want to achieve. So you can just run formulas and see how it works. I'm not going to waste my time in running formula because that would be too much for us. So now I'm going to copy what I've already done before now and just paste there for us to see. Q2 and Q3 reports. I have it here. Okay, so we have these two, Q2 and Q3. From all indication, you can see your sales. Then differences will now be equals to this minus this. So we have shortfalls. Simply means we could not meet our targets for that quarter. Let's move this percent and put difference here. So you can have this table referenced as formulas so that as you update your sales daily, this will automatically update, and everything you do here will also update, of course. So the target is this, to surpass this, but we couldn't even meet this target. So all I'm saying is that having a structured system, having templates in place will help you to organize your data, where am I? Oh, sorry. This is wrong. It's here, we need it here, sorry, here. I'm going to copy this sales again. I'm going to paste it there. So we have locations, all the sales, by quarter, and we have all we need. You can see them, so compare Q2 and Q3. So the sales has dropped in Q3, whereas our target was to increase sales by 10%. Now, your narratives will not come to the point where you explain what strategy did not work and what worked. How did we go from 459 million to 162 million in this quarter? Is it that because of fuel subsidy? customers were unable to buy anymore. Inflation rate was very high. So what caused our sales to drop? You begin to narrate all those narrations that will cause your sales to drop. Okay, so are we together, please? Okay, so now to even go further, you can also have other ways to analyze data. You can use your pivot table to analyze data. Your lead win report by quarter view is based on your sales, sales rep data. Number of calls made, number of minutes made in those calls, how many calls were converted into sales, into wins. Those data will now be in this place, organized and arranged to enable you to run a simple report on your dashboard. So in conclusion, what I'm saying is that having a structured system that has to do with your objectives, your strategies, your reporting, and your goals, all those things come together to give management, proper reports, as a report that has insight. If you don't have goals and targets every quarter, every month, every year, how can you report? All you can do is to give them balance sheet, profit or loss, maybe cash flow or expenses. But at this level, you should be giving them more insight into, into data they can use to make informed decisions. So you have to organize everything in a way that is easy for you. Your inventory data, you put them here. Your profit and loss data, your sales, your sales, or your sales, your products or sales segments will be here month by month. At the end of the month, to get the quarter, you have your expenses, direct costs, you have your overhead costs, everything arranged in a way that you can easily, pull out information and prepare a proper report. So in conclusion, all I'm saying is that having a structured system enables management to get, clean, instant reports, that will not be based on, guesswork. You have planned it all out from beginning of the year, of the month, of the quarter to the end. You have planned that report, how it will look like, who collects data, who cleans up the data, and who does the report. The templates for the report are available and ready. If you want a detailed cash report, we have details. If you want a detailed expense report, we have the format. If you want a detailed inventory report, we have a format. Everything you need for the reporting has a format. That is what I mean by, proper management reporting system that will help you give insight to management to prepare, to make decisions that will grow the company, or to know where to cut costs, or what to do next in the operations. That is all from my end. I don't know if you have questions to ask. That's all from my end in terms of my slide and my presentation. Over to you, Chris and Bola.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Very, very insightful. Please, if you have your questions, this is the time to ask those questions. Nobody has typed any question yet. If you want to speak, you can raise your hand and you'll be allowed to ask. I want to ask, there is something common in Nigeria, especially among small businesses, that they do not keep proper records. How would they achieve a management report without proper records? Like some companies, upcoming companies, have no structure for even data collection to start with, but they want to know how their business is faring. What kind of advice would you give to those kind of companies?
Okay, so thank you, Bolanle. It's a common issue. Even big companies, not even small SMEs, even big companies don't have. So the best thing I always tell people is, if you don't have proper accounting system, you have to design spreadsheets that can give you that. I'll give you an example. I walked into a bakery one time in Abuja. The man met me somewhere I was doing my normal weekend workout. I got to the bakery and realized that they have a size books, but they can barely. I asked the man, what's your profit last month? He couldn't tell me. What is your sales last month? All he knows is that he's getting sales and he's paying his bills. So I went to Barnes and I bought, because I realized his appetite for computer was very small. He had just one system, in the secretary's office. So I designed a small Excel template that can track all production and all sales of bread of all the product they have. So we trained the young girl who was serving then to manage that template, and she was good at that. Every week we want a report of all production and all sales for all the products. Then I went to Barnes. I bought up to 6 or 7 books, very big books. Some are structured books for data analysis, all these cash analysis books, very long books, but the heavy books. I went home, I wrote line by line. I had in mind what he will need every month. He wants to see material usage, to production. He wants to see total, bread produced, how much of those bread we are sent back to production because of poor quality, how much of those bread were unctioned. So I drew all those lines, different formats and columns, went to the bakery, labeled all those books at every point. Listen, at every point, I know there will be cash movement and stock movement. I dropped a book there. First point was the warehouse. When they receive those flour, I put a book there, material received. He that drop will sign, he that receive will sign. When they move materials from the warehouse to the production, there's a book there called control. He that receive will sign, he that gave it will sign. When they produce bread and take to the cooling unit or packaging unit, there's a book there. And there are dockets. Those dockets they're in triplicates. They'll be exchanged from place to place. The man called me after 2 months and said that thing is working. That the staff had all set up. They're now very careful. They've saw a lot of loopholes and they've covered. No more wastages. Because before, they used to eat the bread now. When there's a bad bread, they'll eat it up without even recording it. Now, this will record how many of those bread were damaged at production level. And those damaged bread reduced. So you must have a structured way. Even it was book. I didn't say Excel software. We use book to do that. And we're able to arrange all that the man needed to achieve. Over to you, Bala. So you can get your books in place to achieve all those things. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. There was someone who was raising their hand. Free space development. Please, you can speak now.
Okay, good evening. Can you hear me?
You can unmute yourself and speak. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, my question is there a way to have all your reporting system in one file? As I didn't mean folder. That's just like he made reference. He used Excel sheet as his reference. Is there a way of having everything about your reporting in one file, so you don't necessarily need to have maybe you have your accounting in this Excel sheet, you have different, is there a way to link it to one file so that it doesn't look confusing?
Yeah,
I don't know if my
yes, you are in order. So the thing is, you can have everything in one workbook. That's what you mean by file. You can have everything in one workbook. It's very possible. It depends on the structure of your data set. It's very easy and it's even the best. You have everything. Sheet 1 can be your purchases, your expenses. Sheet 2 can be your revenue collection. Sheet 3 can be your payroll, staff data. Sheet 4 can be your list of customers or inventory. You can have all those things in one workbook, different sheets. At the end, you can link them up into a report page. So it's very possible and it's very easy. Over.
Okay, there's somebody that sent a message on the platform. Said first, you set up a template where they enter daily transaction and expenses. With that, you can be able to ascertain there is any loophole. Thank you very much, Grace Nena, for that contribution. There is an offline question. Said, what's the most basic form of reports that that business owners, small business owners can use, those ones that cannot afford an accountant? What's the most basic form of reports that they would need? I know we've said most of the things, but in case you have any other thing to add to it.
Okay, so we see them a lot. Let me give an example. There's a client in Lagos that's into shawarma business. You know, she has tried to use some softwares and it wasn't working for her because her recipes were mad. Now let me give you an example of recipes. You know, you have normal shawarma. Then you can just buy shawarma with two sausage, then chicken or beef. Let me tell you how her recipe is. She has shawarma with two sausage, beef, shawarma, one sausage, beef, shawarma, two sausage, beef and chicken, shawarma, two sausage, beef, chicken and goat in one shawarma, shawarma with beef, chicken, goat and rum or whiskey or blueberry. So she has over, as in, you cannot count her recipe. The menu is mad. So she needed to track her cost of production for each of those menus. And again, the worst is that if you're buying, then you can buy small, medium, or large, or extra large. So the different layers was too much. So she has used so many softwares, you know, to track. It wasn't easy for her. She now designed her own simple Excel, unstructured Excel, no structure, just simple Excel. And she was able to track all she wanted to track. But the problem was that she could not do it. It was manual. So every day end, she would not gather input from here, and analyze. So she wanted something that was automatic for her. Once she sells, there will be reduction in her materials because she produced based on demand. So the inventory here was materials. Now we have to structure an Excel for her that she used to track everything she was doing. Expenses, when she purchased those flour, those goat, chicken, this captured. When she uses to do shawarma, the quantity of the chicken or beef will drop. You know, so it is left for the small business to identify what report they really want and how they want to achieve that. If they can afford software, we have some software that are free, like Manager now, manager.io. We have the free version that can able to do simple things. So go online, check for softwares that can help you achieve basic tasks, or you find this simplest spreadsheet you can have. The idea is to ask yourself, what do I want to achieve? First of all, I want to see my sales report. Very important. I want to see my cost of purchases or direct costs. I want to see my overheads, how much I'm spending on diesel, on logistics, on postages, on adverts. So these are what I want to see. When you know what you want to see, then you will know how you will see them. If you don't know what you want to see, you can't see them. I want to know if I'm increasing my sales or not. I want to know after all my expenses and my rent, do I make profit? So you must ask yourself question, what do I want to see in this business? That will now help you to know what kind of data you will keep to achieve that expectations. Thank you and over. Hello, Bola, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. My internet was unstable for some
Okay, so there's a question on the chat board. Show light on data input control and security in case of system damage when building systems. So now it depends on the approach again. Yeah, let's start from the basic. Let's start from the smallest one to the highest one. Let me start from the simplest. Let's say somebody does not use software or system. They use manual books, just books. Now, you know, if there is fire outbreak in that company, all those books will get burnt, right? So the first thing you will do is when you are using manual, that's books to record, every day you must have a system that will collect those data into an Excel spreadsheet. Very important. Into an Excel spreadsheet, or you snap those pages. Now, the idea is, I remember when we were in audit firm, my first firm I worked in, we go for audit for a company that has no system. What we'll do, we'll design spreadsheets, that can collate summaries from each of the pages. Each of the cash book has a summary page. So we just extract summaries. Those things are used as backup with us. So you can design a backup system to update the entries in the manual books into a spreadsheet or into a 13-column spreadsheet, either manually, that you will store somewhere that's outside. That's for those using books. Those using spreadsheets, if you're using Google spreadsheet, of course, if your email, what do you call it, you've lost your password to log into your Gmail, Google account, you can't access it anymore. So you must have a backup. Either you store the password somewhere, or each time, every month, you back up that system, that spreadsheet into on that platform or into a external hard drive. So for you, those using spreadsheet, you must have external hard drive as backup, or email. Emails are very easy to back up things these days. You can send those files to your email as backup. For those using softwares, of course, the software company must have their own back-end backup for you. So when building your system, you must have quality control at every point, every stage. Who accesses data? What kind of access do they have to this data? Someone only just to make input. You cannot access the database itself. You must design those access authorities some people can only impute data. They can extract. Some can only extract. And some can impute and extract, and some can also report or read only. So you must design mechanisms to control, systems. And for damage is based on the tool you are using. Every software, they have their back end. Even Microsoft Access has back end. When you finish your Access design, there's a back end you can store on the cloud or on an external hard drive. You can also restore those backups. So the point is, you must have access control for different layers of staff that will access that software. You must have access control, very important. I must have a backup plan for every system you design. Over, please.
Thank you very much, Omar, for this. Do we have any other questions? We have 1 minute to wrap up this webinar. If you have any questions, last questions, please drop them in. Or if you want to ask, if you want to speak, you can raise up your hand and you'll be allowed to speak. Okay, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Mr. Omar, for this webinar, very educative and insightful. Okay.
Yeah, thank you everyone. So sorry, want to still apologize to the public for the guests that entered and showed us inappropriate videos. We want to apologize. Some people logged out immediately and did not join again. Well, what we did was to delete the videos from Facebook. I'll now do the new streaming. And so going forward, we'll ask the backend staff to, deactivate every video upon entry. And we'll now be having a registration before the webinar. You have to register with an email address before the webinar, so we can control those that are coming into, we can track all those things. And there'll be no more video display from anybody. Will deactivate all video display from the back end and also create a registration platform where you must register before you join. If you have only 2 persons on the call, we'll do a meeting. 1 person will do a webinar. Every Sunday, we must have discussion on this platform, whether we are 1 or 2, but we must all register to join, and all videos will be automatically switched off from the back end. So once again, we apologize for what you saw at the beginning, and we hope we don't have that kind of issue again going forward. Thank you, and over, Bolan.
Thank you, Mr. Oman, his team. Thank you.
Thank you, Moma. We really appreciate the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Omar. Deeply appreciate. Thanks again. God bless.
I guess Bonale had a very bad network. So thank everyone. Have a lovely week ahead and God bless you all. See you again next week, Sunday. We hope to have Mr. Nii join us by God's grace on cash management for companies and investment strategies. So we hope he will come next week to have a discussion. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice week ahead.
Thank you, Ma.